My son, Alexander Thomas Keebler, corrected me with my thinking. He said to me, yeah, Mom, you know what? Because you're thinking about the negative abuse that you went through all the time, you actually make it worse because you keep on thinking about it over and over and over again. And I'm like, you know what, son? You're right. I'm open-minded. I'm all ears. I listen. I'm not rigid. I'm not willing to listen to anybody. I'm very open-minded, and I will listen to you. I will agree when it's the truth. I'm like, yeah, these memories of when I was abused by a family member, it's like, yeah, I'm making it worse by thinking it over and over and over again. You know what? To my oldest son, Alexander, that's correct. I acknowledge being an alcoholic for approximately 25 years of my life. Not always. I'm a poor alcoholic. I bought the cheapest beer, Magnum quarts. They were like $1.75. Okay, way back for 40 ounces, and that for a lady, that's a lot of beer. Okay, and then I drank more and more and different times, but that was my main downfall with drugs. Alcohol is one of the worst drugs because it makes you black out and not remember. That's why I really, really hate alcohol. And unfortunately, recently this year with my husband, I was blacked out when he hit me and he fractured my jaw. When he fractured my jaw, I was blacked out when he did that. I was blacked out when he threw me on the floor and there was a chair on top of me. And I looked through his phone, I saw that. He laughed at me when I got up and I had a bruise on my eye. And he's like, oh, you fell off the bed. You just fell off the bed. It's like, no, he threw me off the bed. He's a very violent man, my husband. And he was very, very super violent to me. I mean, I barely remember him hitting my jaw. But after I took the pictures, I remember. That's a really good thing about having a camera on you. If you happen to be, unfortunately blacked out, you can take pictures and remember. And it's just awful that he decided to give me black eyes and fracture my jaw for no reason. Just because he's mad, he hates himself, he really hates himself being as ugly and old as he is, as all of the aches and pains he has in his body. He can't do what he did anymore, being young, working, making a lot of money, making more money than what he had now. And he really hates himself. He took it all out on me. Basically, that's the way I assessed it. My thoughts about my husband is correct. He really did hate himself. In fact, he said his mom told him all the time, why you hate yourself? You should just go up in the mountain and be a hermit, the way she saw him. You're just a loner. Now, he did have a lot of different times. He mentioned that he had 15 girlfriends. He probably did. Now, everything that I said about him was the truth. Unfortunately, what my family falsely accused me of, that P word, that unspeakable P word, that's what my husband did. And he went out with them, those kinds of people. I don't have to say the word. I do not have to say the unspeakable word. You can figure it out. And it's just too much for me to handle that he falsely accused me of being that way. And in my opinion, he said, oh, I went out with about 15 women. Okay, 15 girlfriends. Yeah, he was trying to think. It's hard for him to think. And, I know he went out with more women who did the P word, okay, than his girlfriends. I know that for a fact. With all of his talking, well, I remember every single time, a woman did this to me. I didn't have to know that. I didn't have to know what he did to go out with women and what he got for it, okay? I didn't have to know this information. But I made it public, and I'll try to erase it. Because being negative doesn't help out at all. It really doesn't. But yeah, I can be super positive and say, yeah, I listened to my son. In fact, I listened to David Matthew Keebler when he was 13 in 2011. He shut the door. He shut the door all the time on me. I'm like, Mom, you're drinking. I smell your alcohol. I'm not going to talk to you. Don't think get out of here. The door's locked. Do all you want. I'll call the cops on you. You think Maureen's calling the cops on you? I'll call the cops on you. Well, I listened to my son. Okay. I stopped drinking for a week and a half. I wanted to hang out with my 13-year-old, David Matthew Keebler. Alex was, he was in school? Yeah. He was a senior in college? So was David. What was Alex doing? He was busy all the time. David was not. So David was my best friend. And he wouldn't hang out with me. He wouldn't have been my best friend that year, 2011, if I drank. So I definitely stopped immediately because I wanted to be his friend. Because I love my children. And I got kicked out because me and my mom never got along. So sometimes your family members, you just never get along. But you should be able to agree to disagree. That should be a possible thing.